Good morning, it is Jane with Scraptastic Yarns, and I do have a finished item, but I have what I'm calling just WIPville. Alright, let me get this first. I got this at Hobby Lobby. Let me get the glare off of that. This lovely little gnome, and patterns, it's very straightforward, simple. But there's only one problem. You don't always get the same color yarn they're talking about. And apparently I think teal and green are two different colors. So yeah, there's that. But here she is. She is finished. And I told myself this year I was going to try some more amigurumi and things like that. And yes, I was able to do this even with my hand in the healing position. I cannot, you have an exercise ball, stress ball, and I have trouble squeezing it, but I can hold on to whatever I'm crocheting. So I don't get that part, but it's okay. And as you can see, we're down to the bandage, and Tegaderm's about ready. It's about half off. And of course, we're at the stage where the hand is just itching like crazy. But, yeah, she is finished. But, in the picture they show this as being green. And this as being teal. But, yeah. But anyway, she was adorable. It's very easy to make. And I'm glad I did it. Now, this uses an F hook. Was it an F or an E? I think it was an F hook to do. And it's a fairly thin yarn. They didn't give you quite enough stuffing. But I have polyester fill here, so that was no problem. Alright, WIPville. I'm continue to work on the blanket, and I'm getting there. It's not getting done any faster than what I would like it to be done, but part of that is when we go to the concerts on Sunday evening, it's gospel concerts. The blanket is really too big for me to take because I have to take all three colors, because of whatever. So, when I'm getting all three colors, it's too big to work on. So I thought, well, I think I'll start another project, because why not? So I had started just a plain granny square blanket, and I'm using that new yarn that I got at the Scraps and Skeins. And then, of course, who else doesn't need to start another project on top of that? Because, why work on any of the 20 you have sitting over here when you can start another 3 or 4, right? Right? Yeah. So, and basically these are the squares that were given to me, the white squares. And I'm joining them with red. And, it's going to be a pretty big blanket, probably 7 squares by 8 squares, so a total of 56 squares. And these squares are pretty big. They're close to about maybe 9-10 inches. So it's going to be a pretty big blanket. So yeah, so I'm joining that together while I'm sitting, and so my hand is getting a little bit of a workout. It's just I'm not using that squeeze ball, and I do have more feeling in my fingers, these 3 fingers right here. So yeah, it is working. It's still a little swollen. So yeah. like I said, we're at the stage where I would just like to scratch it. So I do know that the wound is healing. That's a clear sign of healing, wanting to scratch. So yeah, that is basically it as far as that. So I have decided that I am going to start tackling those whips. I did last night kind of go through and look through some of them, and some of them are like I have a cardigan that I need to just do one sleeve on, or no, two sleeves on to finish it, and I don't know why I just didn't ever finish it. So I will be working on that to get it finished, as well as a couple of things. There are a couple shirts in there that I was making that I never got finished, so I do want to finish those. But I thought with all those whips over there, I don't know why I keep feeling like I need to start something other than I have that craft ADD. So, there you go with that. All right, that is it. Like I said, it's going to be a short one. Now we're going to get into some water in Tarnation. And all of these stories involve animals today. Firefighters rescue deer with fence wrapped around antlers. Sorry, folks, I'm looking past you because I have a deer at my back window. When I turn the lights on in here, they're up grazing, and it was her and her fawn, and she just stopped midstream to watch, and now she is down at the back window with the fawn looking in the window like, what are you doing in there, lady? So it's rather funny. Okay. Firefighters rescue deer with fence wrapped around antlers. Firefighters in England came to the rescue of an unlucky deer that ended up lashed to a tree when its antlers became entangled in fencing tape. The Hereford and Worcester Fire and Rescue Service said on social media that a crew found the deer with the fencing tape and stakes wrapped around its antlers in a nearby tree in Longhorn. The crew secured the deer with the rope and used small tools and wire cutters to free its antlers. The animal was examined for injuries before being released back into the wild. Oh, poor puppy. Firefighters rescue dog trapped in a rabbit hole. I'm sure the dog was just curious. Maybe it was really going after a rabbit. Who knows? Firefighters in England said a curious dog had a rough morning when she ended up trapped in a rabbit hole. The Cambridgeshire Fire and Rescue Team said in a Facebook post the dog named Poppy had a rough morning that led to a perfect rescue. Poppy ran into a St. Neots, Cambridgeshire rabbit hole and became trapped, eliciting a response from multiple fire crews. The dog was not injured and was reunited with her family. Now, this next story, there is video. They don't show the woman's face, but I agree with what the woman said in the very end. Of the video. So I suggest you go watch the video. It's about washing the spinach. Michigan woman finds live frog in package of spinach. A Michigan family made a surprising discovery in their sealed package of spinach, a live frog. Amber Warwick of Southfield said she bought the package of Earthbound Farms organic spinach from the Meyer store on Telegraph Road in Southfield, and her daughter examined the package at home. My daughter was screaming. She was like, "Oh my God, it's a frog!" And I was like, "What?" She told WJBK-TV. Warwick said she is relieved the frog was discovered before the spinach became a meal. "Just thank God I didn't eat the frog," she said. Warwick returned the package to the store, which issued her a refund. The frog was carefully relocated to a new home outdoors, Meyer said in a statement to Detroit Free Press. This product came from Earthbound Farms, one of the many farms Meyer partners with across the country to stock the freshest produce delivered to our stores daily. We have provided the customer a refund. However, they probably should have given her more than just a refund. So, yeah. Should have given her a little extra for her time. Taylor Farms, Earthbound Farms' parent company, said an investigation has been opened. We are in direct communication with our customer partner and the consumer to express our apologies, the company said in a statement. Food safety and consumer experience are the top priorities for us, and we are looking into how this happened and how it can be prevented in the future. Well, as you know, when you get fresh spinach packaged, there's usually a claimer on the top part that says triple washed. I'm leaving it there. Florida scuba diver rescues hooked shark entangled on reef. A Florida scuba diver came to the rescue of a shark found tethered to an artificial reef via a hook caught in its mouth. Taz Feld, an instructor with Under Pressure Divers, said his wife, who works at Destin Snorkel Scuba, was told there was a nurse shark hooked to a reef near Destin. Feld and his fellow diver, named Dan, set out from John Beasley Park on Okaloosa Island to the area where the shark was sighted and discovered the 6 to 7 foot shark had a big hook in its mouth attached to a steel leader and a 120-pound test line tethered to the reef. Dan filmed video while Feld cut through the steel leader, freeing the shark. Feld said the shark swam off before he could remove the hook and took his pliers with it. He said the hook will hopefully rust out and come free on its own. The divers ended up clearing more than 100 feet of tangled fishing line from the area to protect other sea creatures from getting entangled. He also talks about how he had saved several eels during the week and was bitten by the eels, saving them from some of the dangers that they face. Last week we had a cat that chased a bear away. This week we have a dog. Dog chases bear away from where a Connecticut toddler was playing. A Connecticut family's home security camera captured the moment a black bear approaching the area where a 4-year-old boy was playing ended up being chased off by the family's dog. Gregory Grant of Sherman shared video showing his young son, Gavin, spotting a black bear in the yard and fleeing, which is not recommended, but a 4-year-old wouldn't know that, and I don't know how a 4-year-old would keep from running anyway, because bears are pretty big. The footage shows the family's 8-year-old golden retriever, Jake, run into action and chase the bear away from the property. Grant said Jake was rewarded that evening with a bath and multiple treats, including ice cream. Connecticut's Department of Energy and Environmental Protection said it is investigating the bear encounter. Jake is not the first family pet to defend his owner's property from a bear this week. Mark LaCroix of Thornton, New Hampshire shared security camera footage. This is the one we saw last week of his 18-pound Maine Coon cat named Bruno chasing a bear that wandered into his driveway. Now, I'm not sure how a longhorn can go missing, but apparently this longhorn is a pretty sharp cow. 900-pound longhorn bull evades North Carolina authorities. Authorities in North Carolina are searching for a 900-pound longhorn bull that escaped from its owner and gave police the slip. Charlotte Mecklenburg Animal Care and Control said officers were dispatched Monday to assist Charlotte Mecklenburg police on a report of a loose bull in the Moores Chapel Road area. Officers learned the longhorn bull's owner had been attempting to move the animal from a pasture to an enclosed area due to severe weather in the area, but the bovine was spooked by the weather and took off running, which they do. Animal control officers, police officers, and the bull's owner made several unsuccessful attempts to wrangle it into a trailer, but the bull managed to run into a heavily wooded area and gave its pursuers the slip. A 900-pound bull is pretty big. Just saying. The search was called off about 10:45 p.m. Monday. Animal control officers returned to the wooded area Tuesday and used a heat-seeking drone to attempt to locate the bull, but they were unable to find any signs that the animal was still in the area. It's amazing how a big bull like that can disappear, but apparently it happens. I'm going to read two things to you. Each morning, a member of my church sends a verse out to everyone who wants to be on this list. This is part of his ministry. He has a prison ministry. He was in prison in the past and gave his life to Christ in prison, and now he works with several different prisons across Pennsylvania with a ministry program. And here is today's verse. Again, Jesus spoke to them, saying, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. And that comes from Romans 8:12, the English Standard Version. Okay, let's get into today's devotional. And this comes from Amazing Grace. Parental words. You are precious in my eyes and honored, and I love you. It comes from Isaiah 43, verse 4, English Standard Version. Parental words carry much power. If life-giving, those words help us face our greatest fears with added strength. We feel as if we can take on the world. The converse can be true as well. If the words we heard from our parents were full of defeat and discouragement, it might be hard to silence those words when we are trying to conquer obstacles. For a child of God, there is a parental voice that carries more weight and power than that of our earthly parents. Being born of His will and not just the will of our parents, we have a truly supreme parent in God. So receive His words of life to you. Know that you are precious to your daddy and He loves you. How is your view of God shaped by the view of your parents? That's an interesting passage. All right, that is it for today's podcast. As always, be kind to one another, love one another, and get out there and see this big, beautiful world we live in. And I will see you again soon. Bye.